What's up, RCTF crew? Let's take a deep dive on the get up. A lot of you are learning this exercise for the first time or building up your skills on it, and so we want to do a deep dive for those who are interested in it. Some of you are absolutely crushing it right now, but I know for some of you, you want a little more instruction, a little more understanding of the movement, the technique, how to execute it really well. And that's tough to go that deep in the middle of the session. We totally get that. So we're gonna do this deep dive today. The Turkish Get Up, as it's formally known, we just call it the Get Up in here. The original kind of origins of the name and the origins of this exercise it was often referred to as the kalos, which is Greek for beautiful strength, and that's where the word calisthenics came from. Now, modern day calisthenics is like push-ups, pull-ups for sure, but it used to mean any exercise, any movement done with strength and fluidity, and the get up is absolutely that. So let's go through a full rep that I'll demo right here, and then we'll talk through all the stages, all right? All right, so that's a full get up, top to bottom, right, done nice and smooth. How do we get to that point? If I'm not yet able to do a full smooth top to bottom get up, how do I get to that point? How am I able to do that? Well, no problem, that's what we're gonna talk about right now, okay? So we're gonna take this movement and we're gonna break it into stages or steps there as we're going through it, okay? So when I'm down here with the kettlebell, we're gonna go through everything without it, and then I'll come back and bring it in, all right? So I brought the kettlebell up, right? It's already addressed. This first movement, okay, of getting up to my elbow is one of the most difficult movements. Danny, why don't you kind of stand up so you can get a better angle on it? And just kind of circle around as I do this. So when I'm right here, this first move to get up onto my elbow, the biggest mistake that we make is that we try to sit up too much, right? And we try to throw ourselves forward and lift this free leg way off the ground. I don't want to do that. I want to roll onto this elbow. And so I'm going to do that two ways. One, I'm going to drive powerfully off this leg and lift this hip off the ground. At the same time, driving this elbow down through the floor to post up on it, all right? So I'm not collapsing and rolling over. I'm driving up and getting onto that elbow. And see how this knee's staying up, all right? A good way to tell that if I'm pushing through that hip. The other thing that can happen, and what I want to avoid, because it puts me in a kind of weak position, is if I just let this knee collapse in and I get up onto my elbow like this, I'm not in a very good spot, right? So I don't want to just collapse in. I want to push to that foot, boom, up to that elbow, nice and tall. And I'm kind of posting up here, right? I'm not letting my shoulder and my ear get close. I'm pushing away. Same deal for the hand, kind of coming up into position. All right, all the way through this, I'm looking straight up at the kettlebell. You have a weight over your head. You should have your eyes on it, all right? You should be looking up at that thing the whole time. You should have the mobility to do so, okay? And we'll work through those stages. So I'm looking up at that weight. I'm in a position here. Now I'm gonna go into the hip heist. So I'm gonna drive strong through this leg, and I'm gonna do a bridge up. And now I've created all the space for this leg to sweep through. So I'm up, posting, and this leg can lift off the ground, right? Don't do this with a weight in your hand, but the point is like this leg is unloaded. Once I got to here, I can pick it up because it's unloaded, and I'm kind of balancing on these two, but that's why I'm moving quickly, and I lift it up and I pull it through and bring it back, all right? Where I want to land it is that this foot, this knee, and this hand are all in a line, or the shin draws a line. So I don't want to come back and have my knee way out in front and let it catch the ground early. Because where's the weight? It's up in my hand and there's nothing below me, so I'm gonna get kind of broken down over time if I can't hold through it. So when I sweep back, what I like to do is I'll kind of post this foot, and then this knee will swivel or pivot out to find that position. 1, 2, 3, that's a nice line as I'm going through. Obviously, when you practice these things and drill through it, don't do it with a weight in your hand so you can kind of take the time to pay attention. From here, I'm in a good position,
and I need to get all the weight out of my arm because I have to stand up, so my hand has to come off the ground. Well, if I take it away right now, I collapse. So I have to get my weight away from it, rock it away from that hand. Now I can lift it. Cool, I'm good. I come up. This is not a position I like to stand up in. I don't think you would either. I need to get myself more in line, so I'm gonna take this leg, swing it around. Now I'm in a good position, and I'll stand up. Half the time I get up here, I'm like, shit, which leg am I supposed to step back? You can touch the leg that's supposed to go back, so that's the easiest way to remember. So I'm up here, this free leg goes back, and now I'm gonna reverse engineer it. So I'm a little bound up here, I need to create space. We're opening that leg back up again. This leg down here, right, tells me where my hand's gonna go. Remember, we said 1, 2, 3. So my hand's gonna be somewhere out here. Not out here, not out here, but somewhere out there. So I'm gonna sit my weight back. I don't wanna plop over. I sit my weight back, put my hand on it. Come around here a little bit, Danny, just for that ankle. Put my hand on it, and now I can come forward, put that weight back into the arm, lift this leg, sweep it through, come down to my elbow, and under control to my back. All right? So it's a lot of stages, it's a lot of talking there, it's a lot of bits. You may want to rewind through this video and watch the chunk that's hanging you up the most. I'm going to demo this one more time. I'm just going to switch sides for the arm. Just so you can see it sequence over there, it's the same thing. And I'm gonna kind of talk through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 in really brief language to distill it down. So I just went through and described it with a little more detail. Now we're gonna do a really distilled down version of all the steps, and then I'll finish up with one more with the kettlebell. All right? So we've gotten to that start position, and I'll talk through that once I grab the weight and arms out. Step 1, up to the elbow. Step 2, up to the hand. Step 3, hip heist and sweep. Step 4, rock back, release that hand, and come up to half kneeling. Adjust however you want. Step 5, stand up. Cool? Reverse, touch it, boom, and open. Shift back to the hand, sweep through to the elbow, to my back. So you can start to break it down into pieces, which is the easiest way to do this. If you're digging this and you want to get strong at it, this is a badass move to get strong with, and it has a ton of full body capability carryover. Not to mention it keeps us capable with getting up off the ground, which is incredibly important as we age, right? So if you want to get better at this and you see the benefit of giving it a little bit of practice outside of your time in the gym, what I recommend is at home, you don't need to wait to do this at all. What you need is something to just keep you honest from a positioning standpoint, that arm's overhead. So you can you're gonna make a fist and you can either balance a shoe or like a pad or anything like that up on top of your fist. And so now if the arm drifts off, you'll know that you weren't keeping position while you were practicing all these steps. All right, I'm gonna grab this kettlebell. I'm gonna demo 1 full rep up and down. And if I'm blabbing too much, so then we'll cut the video. When I'm taking this kettlebell, I don't want to torque this shoulder, right, trying to bring it up. So I'm gonna go 2 hands. I'm gonna roll to the side, get everything really solid, and roll to my back with 2 hands. Now it can release. Now I'm stacking. I'm good, and I'm gonna press up, okay? So that's how I get that kettlebell up safely. That's how I'm gonna bring it down at the end as well. All right, let's go through the stages. To my elbow, to my hand, hip heist, sweep through, come to half kneeling, adjust, stand, tap to know which leg, back down to half kneeling, open up. Hands gotta go in line with the shin, okay? Weights in the arm, I can lift that leg and sweep it through. To my elbow, to my back. Gonna bring the weight down safely. And just because it's good habit, hand comes over, just that little finish. I'm sure you all have great dental plans,
Let's not test them out by picking the weight up over your face to get it to the other side. All right? Grab it by the horns, and as you roll to the other side, you're just gonna sweep it around your head. Boom. And I'm good to go on the other side. All right? Keeps it on the ground, keeps your teeth safe and happy. Folks, I hope this helps or at least brings up some questions. And if you have questions, shoot out a message, ask. I'm happy to help with it. This is an exercise I really enjoy. I think it's super crucial for health, longevity, maintaining strength and fluidity. That's why we're working on it this phase. If you have any questions, reach out. I'll be happy to answer them.